So a short time away from RBC 15, guys. 9 fights. Ooh, that feels like a lot. Well, let's go over every single one of them. One fight canceled, obviously, you guys need to know about that. That is Rebel Brook versus Kenny Young. Obviously, a lot of that I was going to cover in a video, but decided not to. Alright, so let's go down the running order. 3 title fights, obviously. 3 undisputed title fights. Some big fights at welterweight, especially. The non-title fights, they're pretty darn good. I mean, we talk about like Harry Golovkin, Myron Yeager, and Biankowski DeVry. Another video I was intending to make, but that went off. Let's start with the first fight. Beast Riley and Void Hunter. So, Void Hunter's interesting. He's 3-1. That's a pretty good record. But I don't think he's proven himself yet. This is the fight to really prove himself. If Void Hunter is legit, he's going to win this fight. But Beast Riley is no small task. Beast Riley has given many fighters fits. He gave Gabriel Novice. He beat SSI in an Expedition fight. Now, it doesn't count in the record, but that's still a big deal because, I mean, SSI was a former combos champion, so that's something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that Beast Riley is 2-3 right now. I think maybe 2 or 3 or 2-4. It's very, very it's misleading. He's 2-4 right now. It's misleading because he's a much better fighter than what we give him credit for. And this might be the fight to prove it. I'm not going to give any predictions in this one, but I'm just telling you right now, that's a fight to look out for to start the main card. I think, honestly, the next fight that I'm talking about should be starting the main card because it's that good. And we need a banger to start it off. Gavitas Wilder. Wilder is an interesting case of a guy who, after his first fight, he went into his second fight, and he fought an absolute war that I don't know if he was prepared for. Gavitas is a straight veteran. And I feel like his goal at this point maybe isn't to just get to the world title again because I think he's already gotten to that point. At this point, I feel like it's just to have fun. If he gets to the title, that's good. But this is a fight where it's just purely you need to have fun. I mean, this is going to be an amazing fight. I mean, it's going to be such a good fight. Gavitas Augustus and Wilder. Basically, is Gavitas going to be able to make it into the future of RBC, or will Wilder become the next generation? We got some exciting guys coming along. A lot of new fighters coming to the RBC. Wilder is one of them. But he needs to get through this challenge. The first fight was so entertaining because it went 6 rounds. It was featuring so many knockdowns. And it was very, very close. It was definitely a draw. We can all agree with that. So we need closure in this one. I think the main key in this one is Wilder needs to get the knockout. And while Augustus, he needs to turn it up. He turned it up in the last 2 rounds, where Wilder was just completely exhausted. That's where Augustus needs to do again. Maybe he needs to finish him, but he needs to deal with the power shots from Wilder. And he needs to throw the volume. This is a very good fight. Let's move on. SSI and Drew Garcia. This is like the last chance fight. Because SSI has come off a tough loss. He also had that expedition with Harry, but he came off a tough loss to Jakob. Now, it's obviously Jakob Biankowski, so you can't really give him that much shit for it. I mean, you can, because that was his key to the title fight, but it's Jakob Biankowski. Now, as for Drew Garcia, he's also coming off a crushing loss. A very close one to Khalid Rashad. So who goes into this fight with more confidence? Is it Garcia or is it SSI? I say Garcia because he almost beat the number 2 contender for the title. And let's not go into the Khalid thing anymore. Key to the fight. SSI needs to pressure. He needs to keep him off. He needs to keep him off balance. That's pretty much the entire fight for him. Drew can start off very, very strong, and it's going to work out for him. I think that's one of the problems with guys like SSI and Triple Paul is that their defense isn't the best. So we'll see how that goes. That's another interesting fight. That's an important. Welterweights are going to be shining tonight. Welterweight is going to be the big topic because we have that SI fight and we have the one later on. Harry and Yeager. If it's not a smart idea to to just write off Myron Yeager. Reason being is that he can pull off the upset. You're talking to a Harry Golovkin fan here, and if I'm saying that he can pull off the upset, it means maybe he has a chance. He has a chance to do it. It's not going to be easy, though. He needs to take it to decision. I think this fight will be going to decision because that's what Harry Golovkin does. He needs to win by points. And he needs to land power shots, man. If he can knock down Golovkin in this fight, that's a good key to have. I have faith in both guys. I think this is important for Yeager to get back in title contention. He can get better. It showed in the Aussie fight where he showed some signs of good as a competitor. He just needs to work more. I think that's the main thing. He's a very nice guy, and so is Harry. Harry, it's an expectation for him to win. That's basically what we're looking at here. If he doesn't win this fight, we don't know where we go with him. It's a must-win for him. It's not his biggest fight, but it is if he loses. And then all of a sudden he's 4-3. So what do you do now? But that's basically the position he's in at this point. All right, let's get into the real fight. Let's get into the meat of this card, the back half. Maldonado Rashad. Someone else was supposed to be in this fight. It was supposed to be one of these big super fights for the returning heavyweight that I will not say. But though Rashad, he's got to go through adversity. I mean, this guy just lost his trainer. Okay. Gabriel Maldonado is going to be enraged, man. He is going to come out different. He fought really well in that Bugatti fight, and everyone just dismissed him. Just another challenge. He suffered a little bit from that damage scuff, but whatever. He needs to get back in title contention. He needs to prove the world wrong. And that's the big thing in this one. Much closer than what you think. But this really is a must-win for Maldonado. He's coming off a loss to Bugatti, which he was not very far from winning. I think a few good shots, and if he just blocked better, he would have won the fight. It's clear he can put up a challenge. And that's what we're yet to see. Gabriel Maldonado has a chance in this fight. I mean, in the future as a title challenger. But if Tho Rashad wins this fight, boom, there you go. You have your new contender. It's a change in the guard. Guys, after RBC 15, it needs to be a new landscape in the RBC. This is why it's such an important event. Because it's a new era. Let's say if Wilder wins, a new era in the game. If Tho Rashad wins, we have a new contender in the game. The old guys are going to go away. That's an important thing to do. If Tho Rashad wins, that's massive. But I'm saying right now, Maldonado, all he needs to do is keep him away. Ride it out to decision. You will win very easily if you fight a smart fight. Now, into the biggest non-title fight. It is going to be a barn, ladies and gentlemen. Cash DeVries and Jakub Jankowski. I told you what would happen. What should happen in this fight. Jakub desperately needs this victory. It's another must-win for him. If he loses, it's pretty much over for him. If DeVries wins, that's a title shot right there. Winner fights for the title. Now that we have that guy out of the picture, winner fights for the title. This is a true number one contenders match. Do we get the rematch or do we get a new face? DeVries is has fought for a while, so I mean, I wouldn't say a new face. But I am saying there's another contender down there. And winner fights for the title. Now, the main event's also going to be interesting. We'll talk about that one later. I have a little bit more to discuss there. For Jakub, it's really just you got to move in on him. You have to use the pressure. You have to get big power shots on him. That left hand needs to be moving at all times. You need to keep him on the back foot. For Casper, it's what you did in the vet fight. Fight smart. Fight hard. And throw good shots. I mean, he fought great against Khalid Rashad. What makes you think he can't do it here? Let's get into my favorite fight on the card. This is like the fight I'm looking forward most to. It's the Gavias fight and it's this fight. That's weird to say the Gavias fight over like the biggest heavyweight fight of all time, the biggest fight of all time, but like whatever, I don't care. Yeah. NJJ and Ozzy. I mean, I've been waiting for this fight. I mean, it's been just been on my mind for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's been like, whew. Ever since Jam Jones lost to NJJ, we knew we were getting this fight. Like, at some point, we had to get this fight. Because it's the two best middleweights ever. Except for Jacoby and Kowski, of course. What's on the line for both guys? For NJJ, it's your last opportunity to become undisputed. You could have held on for your IBF title for a while, but instead you said, fuck it, I'm going undisputed. I have a hit list to get to, and I'm going to complete it. That was the main goal all along. And he's going to come, and he has a chance to complete it. He's got a few more guys in that list, but main up there is Aussie. This should be a main event fight. I mean, they could have waited a pay-per-view and said, yeah, now we get the main event. But now it just feels big. For Aussie Divine, it's shut the haters up. I don't have... And I was watching the Gloves Are Off episode yesterday. Aussie just... Oh my goodness, man. That dude can talk on the mic. I mean, NJJ's handling it very well. He's not phased or anything. But man, Aussie Divine is so creative on the mic. I mean, the dude can talk up a storm. He can sell a fight just as good as anyone can. I mean, what else can you say about him? The dude is a badass. Keys to the fight. NJJ needs to control the pace. He needs to he needs to use his jab. But Aussie's going to use a jab too, which brings me to a point where I think Aussie is going to use a different game plan. He might try to drag this one out too. He uses the jab as a way to set up power shots and big combinations. NJJ uses it to score points and also set up hooks. But Aussie Divine may be looking to get this fight like into the later rounds. I don't think it's going to the decision, to be honest. I think if NJJ wins, it's going to be like in round 9 where a TKO happens. If Aussie wins, it's by TKO in the 3rd round. That's how it's happening. I could be completely wrong, but this is going to be fight of the night, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be close. Man, let me tell you something. Alright, let's get to the co-main event. This is one everyone's has been waiting for. Like, this is basically... We built up to this. Ever since the heavyweight division disbanded. Ever since Bugatti won the heavyweight title in Dallas, Texas. It was, when are we getting to this fight? When are we going to get these two in the ring? And the night he won the title was, when are we going to do this? When are we doing this? Well, we're doing it now. Mr. Bosnian Beast taking on the Hitman. It's such a good story. Bugatti has a chance to be 10-0 and get the biggest payday of his life. Meanwhile, Tams King has a chance to shock the world. Well, not really, because he might be a favorite in this one. Tams King has a chance to do it. He's the toughest challenge for Bugatti to date. There is no doubt about that. And many were like, well, we never seen him overcome adversity before. Bugatti, that is. Yeah, we have. Fishy Fury. It's not the adversity of the fight in general, where he's down and he has to come back. It's the adversity of the hype. I think he can do it. Both guys, I think it's a very close fight. And it's going to be close for the 4 rounds it goes to, because this fight is not going halfway. It is a 5-round beatdown. It's going to be a war. And I'm there to see it. Main event time. The most talked about fight. And the fight that got the least amount of views. Yeah, this is going to be just massive. Cruzaro and Raimundo, that's the biggest. It doesn't get any bigger than this. You're talking about a combined record of 33-1 between these two guys. In all of Road Boxing. Ray has never lost a combat sports fight ever. I don't think you guys understand how insane. I don't. Why am I saying that? How can I say that? It's so difficult to not face any real challenge whatsoever. And he just did. I mean, 20-0 in Road Boxing is ridiculous. I'm not going to go too much into this fight because I've already covered it. I'm just saying right now, it's going to be whatever you guys think it's going to be. It could be a 2-round fight. It could be a 12-round war. It's all in Wembley. So who do you guys think is winning? I did a prediction show a few nights ago. Who do you guys think wins the main event? That's the question we all want to know. That's what a Cruzeiro fight is. Is he still the best? Who knows?